Yo guys, and welcome to another video on my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing a bit of a podcast, a discussion. We're going to be talking about FIFA 19. Before we get into it, we have to do some disclaimers. These are all my opinions. None of this has to necessarily be true or anything. If you disagree with it, that's totally fair. But don't hate for something I say, please, because it's just my opinion. If you give constructive criticism, that's fine. If you go into an argument in a nice way, that's all fine by me. But if you do it in a hateful way, I'm just gonna ignore you in the comments of this video. I want to get that out of the way straight away. Another thing I need to tell you, I will be streaming these on Twitch in the future and then also recording them for YouTube. I'm just gonna stream them on Twitch just because I think that way I can get instant replies from you guys onto the discussion. And then we can pretty much have an instant debate about it, a live debate, so to say. And then for the YouTube guys, it's just you can watch it back on YouTube. But yeah, that's so I will be streaming them on Twitch. Make sure to check out my Twitch in the description. I'm not streaming the first one because I just want to record it right now, and I don't want to set everything up for this for a Twitch stream. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the major flaws with FIFA, especially FIFA 19. Now you might be saying. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that's just jumping on the bandwagon, you're just gonna complain. That's what everyone does. Why would you do that? Well, first of all, videos complaining about something seem to do better on YouTube. It seems to get more attention. And there are generally a few flaws with the game, and we're gonna just address them. And I gonna have some gameplay in the background of just me doing things on my account. But that's nothing special. You can just listen to this video. You don't have to watch it. You can just listen. I won't be showing many examples of the things I mean. So yeah, you can just go ahead and go and watch it. Or listen to it, my bad. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the major flaws, because there are major flaws in this game that need to be addressed, in my opinion. It's not the worst, but after this past weekend league, if you played it, you know there has been some issues. I only finished Gold 2, which is a very bad weekend for me. I have one more game left, but can't get to Gold 1. Gold 1 is always the minimum for me, but this week it wasn't. I just got very unlucky. But we have to get to our first few points that need to be addressed with this game. And the first one is one that's very, very limited to the time we're in right now. If you watch this 2 weeks later, this has probably been fixed. But it's just EA servers. I know EA has some connectivity issues at their headquarters with the entirety of EA, not only EA Sports or just FIFA. Everything that's made by EA has connectivity issues right now, or had connectivity issues last week, but it seemed to have carried over into the weekend league. Lots of lag, lots of people complaining about button delay, and I generally think that's why I did a little worse this week than I would normally do, because I actually play good FIFA. But that's not going to be an excuse for me. Another thing that needs to be addressed, and that's just a very quick one. We don't need to talk about it for a long time because it's just something that's gonna get addressed, but we need to get it out there. Another thing that needs to be addressed is the Division Rival rewards. Now I know lots of people know about this. I believe I am in Division 5 right now. I'm easily gonna get rank 1. As you can see, I'm in Division 4, but I think my rewards are gonna be for Division 5. Just because of other stupidity. As you can see, last week I pretty much didn't play. Do I already have enough points for rank 1 last week? I believe this is Division 4 as well. Yeah, this is a different division. But, as you might know, with Division Rivals, there's an issue. And it's a pretty big issue in my opinion. That's just the reward structure, so to say. Because you can get rank 1 and rank 2 in Division 5, and you will get better rewards. As you can see, you get a bonus of 2 Jumbo Premium Gold packs. Which is not a massive difference, but to be honest, it shouldn't be a massive difference. It should be a nice difference. Not massive. Between rank 1 and rank 2 in Division 5. But yeah. As you might know, especially if you get into the high division, it's just not worth playing for the high ranks. And I think that's something so stupid, and they have not addressed it yet, or they've not acknowledged it very openly on like Twitter or in the game with a notification. So I think that's really, really weird, just to put it like that. And that's something that needs to be addressed, because people are purposely not playing for rank 1 in certain divisions. Like, going up to Division 1 is probably worth it, but in Division 2 and 3, I think it's the main issue, where it's just not worth getting to a certain rank or to a certain division at all. I just think that's utter stupidity. But that's my opinion on it. So that needs to be changed. If the division rivals don't change, people are gonna purposely not play the game. They're not gonna play it to their best. People are gonna relegate on purpose, and it just messes up with the game making, the game making, which is another issue with this game we'll get into, which I have some examples for actually. I can put examples of some things on, but that's not important for now, because we're gonna go into SBCs and promos first. I want to keep everything short and clean. I want just you guys to comment on the things you want to be fixed. So we're not gonna have a massive discussions about every single topic. I just want to address everything that's wrong with the game. And SBCs, there's a few SBCs that are just so wrong. They're so wrong. To start with, the icons. EA have massively underrated the price of icons, how much they would go up for these SBCs. And the issue, that's my bad, I just hit my desk. The issue is they just don't give out enough icons on a daily basis, or on a weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. Let me put it like this. Now, this isn't how packs work, but imagine every day on average there's about 30 icons being given out, but 50 icons per day get used in these SBCs, means there's 20 icons gone from the market every single day. That's gonna drive their prices up like it's doing now. Icons are about 700k. I don't believe you can do any of these SBCs for cheaper than what you can buy the icons for. You of course get packs back, but that's probably not worth it because you get an untradeable player anyway. The only way it's worth it is if you get pack luck, but you can't predict pack luck before you get into an SBC. So that's the first SBC that's just completely wrong in my opinion. EA have really underestimated the price of icons. And it's weird to me because they like fixed the prime icon set 2 by giving out better packs, it looked like, but it didn't actually change any of the SBCs that were in it. So like the subcategories to call them, they're all exactly the same. And that's weird to me because in this one they should have known that they should have seen that the SBC just costs as much as the icon did for prime icon set 1, and they should have expected it to be the same for prime icon set 2. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a weird one. You can actually see the reward details. So for this one you get Larson, who's not worth it, Makalele, who you can buy for cheaper, Matrasike you can buy for cheaper, Ferdinand is sort of worth it, and Lampard you can buy for cheaper. Like the only ones that are really worth getting anyway are probably Ferdinand and Makalele. Matrasike is a good card, but not an outstanding card. And for Prime Icon Set 1, they have really been made irrelevant since Prime Icon Set 2 has been released. Because all of these are cheaper, and none of these are like end-tier icons. Gattuso is way too small, I believe. Overmars is not a good card. Okocha is not a great card. Especially at Cam, there's so many options. Hierro, also not the best. Yashin is a goalkeeper, you're not going to pay lots of coins for him. So the icon SBCs are just a massive wrong. Getting into the league SBCs, I think it could have been better. The pack rewards could have been slightly better on the lower leagues, like a few better gold packs, like a rare gold pack maybe in there for some of the teams, so that you can complete some of the SBCs like I've done. I do that a lot, and get a pack that's sort of worthwhile. That's like a bit of a gamble. In the Serie A there's a few that are worthwhile. In League 1 there's a few that are worthwhile. The Chinese league is very worthwhile doing, because you get lots of silver cards that are expensive for very cheap out of the packs. But all in all, it's mainly about the upgrades. If you go into Skriniar and Dzeko is just an unusable card anyway, because he's only got a good shot. Now for Skriniar, he's already got a UCL card, which I have in my team. It's a really good card. But he's only got like 2 pace, 2 shooting, 2 passing. Or no, 2 pace, 2 shooting I believe. 2 defending and 2 physical. Only his passing and dribbling have been upgraded a lot, which is just stupid because he's a center back. So in my opinion, that's just not a worthwhile upgrade. Now for the Chinese league, we actually got a 86 rated Renato Augusto and 86 rated Oscar. Now the difference is these cards start off as 82 rated cards, or a Renato Augusto is even an 81 rated card. Whereas Dzeko and Skriniar, they both start off as 85s. They got upgraded by 2, but they both have UCL cards, I believe. Roma have UCL cards as well. If you go into League 1, we have Depay and Tavan. Now, Tavan is actually a card I say is worthwhile. He's a really good card. Even his base card was very good for me. I don't know if he's any special cards, but he's been upgraded by 3, which is better than the +2 that they've given to the Serie A players. And Depay also already has a UCL card, but he's probably worth doing if the SBC is not too expensive. But then there's like the Liga Bancomer Max. These cards are just not usable. They're not good cards. And they're very hard to link as well. If you go into the Argentinian League, those are not worthwhile. They're decent cards, but again, not too easy to link. Argentina, not a great nation this year. Same for these cards. Vormer is probably not worth doing. And this other card probably also not worth doing. And again, not easy to link. So yeah, in all, these league SBCs are probably not worth it this year. I think they were best in the first year, even though they were more expensive. They gave it better packs. And they were just more relevant to bronze packs as well, because that's now, there's still bronze and silver cards that are very expensive you can get out of those packs, but not as much. The only one that's worth doing to me is the Chinese Super League so far, and that's only if one of the SBCs that's now 30k goes down to like 10k, which hopefully it does at some point. Now the next thing I want to get into for FUT Champions, or for the flaws with this game, is a very big one, and it's for FUT Champions. And it has to do with matchmaking. On a weekend basis, so to say, so on a weekly basis, I get about gold 1, and always very close to elite. And I feel like if I get lucky matchmaking, I can get elite. And me saying that if I get lucky matchmaking, I get elite, that shouldn't even be a thing. If we go into the Champions channel, there are no available replays. Are you kidding me? Why are there no available replays? Will it show me if I go into the FUT Champions tag? Champions channel? Okay, there's nothing. But that's all fine. Because I can explain it to you anyway. Let's say you get to see all those top 100, their replays. And you can see who they matched up against at the time. Now, we know matchmaking works with form. And you get a +5 form if you win 5 games or without getting a defeat. Or if you win 10 games with 5 losses, you have +5 form. That's just how it works. And the form gets capped out at 15. Now, according to EA, it searches between, if you have a 5 form, it will search between 0 and 10 form for your matchmaking. So you can come up against someone who is 10 and 0. You can also come up against someone who is 10 and 10, who has a 0 form. And that's just a bit stupid already. But okay, so be it. 10 and 0 and 10 and 10 is a huge difference, but in player. But according to EA, that's the same kind of a fair matchup, which is already a little bit out there in my opinion. But okay. But what now if 15 form is the cap? Because that's what it's supposed to be, I believe. So someone who is 25 and 0 can come up against someone who is 20 and 10. And that's an unfair matchup in my opinion. That's a top 100 player most likely coming up against a 20 and 10 that's like a gold 1 player. If you're in the top 100 and you want fair matchmaking, you should only be playing top 100 and elite guys. Now I know it's unfair to top 100 people if they constantly play someone at their own level, because they will on average finish 15 and 15. Now for the first games, of course, they will match up against someone who has a pretty bad record as well, because, well, they're only 3 and 0, so you have 3 form, and that will fix something, so they will at least get like 20-25 wins if it actually worked with fair matchmaking. And that's still not good, because they should be able to go 30-0, but it's unfair to the people who are in lower ranks, because those top 100 players, and especially the real pros, they will be able to beat anyone who is in elite rankings as well, most likely. Maybe they will take a loss here and there, and that's not even probably their fault. It's just like a mistake from the game, an AI mistake, because that happens in FIFA, and that's something we're not going to be talking about in this video, AI mistakes, because that's something that's going to be in FIFA for pretty much all the time we're going to be playing in this game, until they somehow make it perfect, and then we're still going to complain about it. So matchmaking in FUT Champions is not fair. It's probably not even fair in Division Rivals because the amount of people I just absolutely smash in divisions is insane. And that's a bit weird to me because I'm supposed to be in a division which is fair to me. I've relocated out of this division before when I was trying stuff. Then I had to work hard to get out of Division 5, but when I get into Division 4 it's all of a sudden easy. So I think there's a mistake in there as well. So yeah, matchmaking in this game, it's not what they want it to be. And I feel like they're just struggling. They want to get good connections between people because otherwise people are going to complain about that. They want matchmaking to be quick because otherwise it's going to deliver complaints as well. And they want matchmaking to be as fair as possible. But those three just don't always go together, especially making it quick and fair. That's just something that shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be necessarily be quick in FUT Champions. In FUT Champions, if it takes 2 minutes, it takes 2 minutes. Especially if you're in the EU, you will find matches from your ranking class. I know in North America it's a bit harder. There's not as many FIFA players in there. And it's very likely you will come up in an unfair match. I'm still not sure if EU is easier or harder than NA because of it. There's lots of debate about that. But yeah, surely matchmaking needs a bit of a fix. It doesn't have to be every time I come into a game I need to be playing someone who's on exactly my level of game. It doesn't need to be a tight game where I can only win by like 1 goal every single time or lose by 1 or 2 goals every single time. Of course, every now and then I need to be playing a better or a worse player to get me to a rank which I deserve to be at. So that's about, they have it pretty nailed, but then again, you can get lucky in matchmaking and play people who are below your scope of of form. So I might be on like plus 12 form and I might be playing someone who's like plus 7 form, and that's actually a huge difference. And if I do that every single time, I go to plus 13 but I play someone who's plus 8. I go to plus 14 but I play someone who's on plus 9. The entire time like that. I might push myself even all the way to Elite 2 all of a sudden, because I just got lucky in the matchmaking. I might also get unlucky in matchmaking, which is not what happened this week. I played opponents who were on my level, who I could have beaten, but I lost to quite a bit. So it's also my fault for getting gold 2, but that aside. But I could also get unlucky and only finish like gold 2, gold 3, because I'm playing like 5 top 100 guys, a few Elite 1 guys, and stuff like that. And another issue with FUT Champions or just FIFA in general is the replay system. And I don't mean the replay system in it's that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. There still needs to be a lot of fix to it. But take Call of Duty, that's a game I play a lot, or take Fortnite, a game I used to play a lot. They have allowed us to watch replays of our match whenever we want, of every single match. In FIFA, they only store the matches of top 100 players in the FUT Champions channel. Now, the FUT Champions channel is not working at the moment, but that's all fine. If you can load into it and hope it works this time, but don't think it will be. But yeah, that's just an issue, because I want to be able to review my gameplay. Now, I can record my own gameplay, but with the replay system, I can put the trainer indicators on, and I can see where did my pass, according to EA, get aimed to. Did I aim it to the top where I wanted it to, or did EA think I aimed it to the right? How much power did I put on it? How did EA interpret that, or how did the game interpret that amount of power? What player did it select? Is it my fault? Is it the game's fault? Is it something I just need to work around, or is it something that needs to be addressed by EA? We can't see that right now. Only the top 100 players can see that for themselves, and they won't be doing that as much because they know what they're doing. They know how to get top 100. They don't need to improve a lot, or as much as I need to improve to get to the number 1 spot in the world. I need to improve a hell of a lot to get to the number 1 in the world, whereas the number 1 in the world technically doesn't have to improve. So I think it's stupid that we can't see our gameplay. The game has been stuck for a while now, which is annoying. But we can't see our gameplay, and I think that's stupid. I can record it, but then I don't have all the data. I only have 1 camera angle and stuff like that. And that's something that's been talked about. Some of these topics have been talked about a lot, but we need to get them in one video, in my opinion. I sold an item for 450. That's a shame. Yeah, the next thing is just to do with EA. And this is the biggest flaw of FIFA 19. And it's been a flaw of FIFA for the last couple of years. Not only FIFA 19, FIFA 18, FIFA 17. Actually, ever since this is a competitive game, so since FIFA 17, this really needs to be addressed. And that's just the EA's transparency with the game. Now, EA doesn't tell us what certain stats do. If I go into my squad, I have this player of the month Royce, or this player of the month Hazard. And I look at their stats and I'd be like, 95 acceleration, 90 sprint speed. Okay, I know what that does because it's just very, very simple. Attacking positioning, for example. I know he's gonna position better in attack because he's got 99 for me. But what does it actually do? Will it mean that he is more in the attack, or is he more in a suited position, or does he know how to follow up shots better in first place? Volleys, we know what it does. Long shots, we can assume. Shot power, penalties, finishing, we can all sort of understand that. Vision, I don't know what vision does for me. He might have high vision, but surely I'm the one watching where the ball should go. Does it give him like better knowledge of where to pass it when a player is making a run, where the gaps are to pass it through, or what does it? We don't know that. Curve, we know. Long pass, short pass, we know. Crossing and free kick accuracy, we can all assume those stats, what they do. Agility and balance, we can sort of assume. Reactions, I have no idea what it actually does. It probably makes my player just react to a loose ball quicker. But EA never confirmed it. I don't know what it does. Ball control and dribbling, you can kind of assume those, but to be honest, what's the difference between ball control and dribbling? Is ball control only for first touches, or is ball control for different stuff as well? Is dribbling only for when I'm running with the ball, or is it also when I'm taking a first touch once again? Composure, he has very good dribbling stats, so I don't care what they do on his card, because I know he can do all of it. But what does it actually do? You know, it puts you on, if you're under pressure from another player, it probably degrades the other stats. That's what it seems to do. But EA never made of an official threat of what all these in-game stats do, and that's just, in a competitive game, that's just a major mistake, in my opinion, at the very least. Because what you see in all the other games, like Call of Duty, Fortnite, League of Legends, Halo, whatever other competitive games are out there, what's that game called? Overwatch. You know what all these specialists, all the weapons, all the characters, you know what they do. You know what they can do, how much damage output they have. Of course, these are all have one similarity, and that's they're all shooters or games where you need to kill your opponents, and you know how much damage the things does. Now that might be an unfair comparison because all those games have similarities, way bigger similarities than the FIFA does to them. But still, we need to know what these stats do. Not only do we need to know what stats do, we also need to, when we go into custom tactics, we know what width does. We need to know what width does a little bit more clearly. Same with depth. If I put my depth very deep, does that only put my team further back, or does it do something else? Because I think it does do something else. And we just don't know about that. The offensive styles, if I put it onto long ball, will my strikers be making runs forward a lot more often in general? If I put it to fast build-up, will I only be able to counter him when I get very far forward? Will there not be many players with me because I'm a fast build-up? If I'm balanced, we just literally don't know what it does. Now I like to put it on fast build-up or possession or balanced, because I literally don't know which one is better, because I don't know what it does. I literally need to experiment with it for like 10-20 games of every single one before I actually know what it kind of does. And then still, I don't really know what it does. Same with players in the box is one we can assume. Even though when I put this one back or one forward, it's still 3 players in the box if you look at it. So to me this seems the same. Just these players are further back, which is weird, because does this mean they go further towards goal for some reason than this one? Because that wouldn't make sense. Corners, we know what it does, just how many people are you for corner free kicks and stuff. Formations, okay, that's something completely different. Instructions. If I have him on get him behind, or on target man, or false 9, what will that do? I know it in the very broad way, put it like that. It's very vague. I know what it does, but I don't know exactly what it does. And in competitive game modes like FUT Champions, being in the game, we need to know everything it does when we put certain instructions on our players' roles. That's all very clear. But we don't know what everything does. And that's just a major flaw with this game. That's one of the biggest ones. Now, another one that is there is when EA doesn't clarify things. They don't address things that are wrong with their game. They know they're there and they've acknowledged it, but they don't let us know that they've acknowledged it. And if they just do that, then the community can sort of move forward from that issue. If we all get button delay all of a sudden next weekend league, and everybody's complaining it to EA, and they just say, yeah, that's a mistake on our part, we're very sorry, we will give you this to compensate with it, like a 15k pack or something, I don't know. Then everybody can move in and be okay, next week that should be gone, that's EA's fault. If they don't acknowledge it, people are going to complain the entire time, and they're going to say it's there next week when it's gone. And they're going to say it's there the week after when it's gone. Until like 3 weeks in, and they're like, okay, now it's been clear to me, it's actually gone. Everyone is saying it's gone, it's just me complaining. And that's just, it's from a business point of view, I think it's not even smart to not acknowledge the mistakes. Of course, if they acknowledge that they have a lot of mistakes in this game, then it's gonna make themselves look a little bit worse as a company, so I can see why they don't like give us threats with this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and we agree, this is wrong, and this we agree with. Of course, they're not gonna do that. But they should acknowledge some things that are wrong with their game. And as a last one, I had a very big one to talk about, and I've forgotten it. Yeah, the biggest one I forgot about, great. And the biggest one, in my opinion, is the community. I'm gonna make a separate podcast on the community, or a video, or discussion. I don't know, should I call these podcasts? I'm doing them on my own. Are they podcasts? The next video, the next discussion, is gonna be about the community as a whole. I'm not gonna address it very long right now because it deserves its entire own video. Because the community of this game, it's just toxic. They're just so toxic. Like, not only when you're in game do people play like dicks in game, and that's not necessarily an issue, because they're just doing everything to win, which is understandable in this competitive game mode. By the way, another issue is we don't have a non-high pressure game mode. Let's put it like that. We don't have a relaxed game mode. All of these two are competitive. Draft is for rewards where you need to pay for. And friendly seasons and online single matches are not really something you want to do because you get literally nothing for it. If they just give us like tournaments, or just, well, normal divisions, nobody's gonna play because then you might as well play division right. But if they just give us tournaments with fun rewards like good packs, but you still get something when you lose, so to say, then that would be great. Now, of course, in division rivals, if you lose, you still get points. But the problem with it, it's once a week. If you miss out, you miss out. And that's an issue in my opinion. We don't have a fun game mode. And especially if you get into higher ranks, taking a loss can actually be quite devastating for your relegation because you're already trying hard. So you can't play with fun teams basically in any of these two game modes, because in FUT Champions you want to get as many wins as you can. And in Division Rivals, you don't want to lose, especially if you're getting into a tough division. If you're in Division 2 or 1, as for example, you can't be going in with a weak team because you're already going to be losing games because you're playing super tough opponents. So yeah, that's a major issue. But back to the community. The community is just toxic. And it's a huge flaw for FIFA 19 or any FIFA. Now this is not something FIFA can fix. Well, there's a few things they can do. They can give us back the ability to skip our opponent's replays for their goals. Because people who watch all replays and stuff, it's just toxic when you do it. It just makes your opponent angry and it shouldn't be in the game. I know it's like, oh, look at this is a great animation we've made, but put it into career mode. If both people want to watch it, then fine. If both of them don't skip it, then fine. But if one player skips one of the animations, just any animation or any replay, it should just skip it. Except for maybe the celebration, you need to allow players to celebrate their goals, okay. That I'm fine with. You can skip them yourselves if you don't want to celebrate your goal. That one I'm not too fussed about. If someone dabs on me, I don't really care anymore because it's happened way too often. At the start it pissed me off quite a lot. And I will dab back when they do it, so it does trigger me in some kind of way, but not to make me angry. But even when you go into the live streams, I watch Nepenthes and Nick 2080, mostly Nepenthes a lot. And if you go into their chats, when they do something wrong, and especially if they're not on sub-only mode, or if they are on, or if they're being hosted, for example, which barely ever happens, but by a big Twitch streamer. Let's just say a lot of people come into the stream that normally wouldn't be there, who aren't subbed, who don't follow him, who aren't big fans of him, of them. They just get toxic, especially if they're losing games. They just be like, "Oh, you could have done this," and it's just backseat gaming, and it's like you should have done this, I should say. And it's a toxic variant of backseat gaming, which you see a lot, but also just people straight up being like, "You're shit, you suck. Why do people watch this guy?" Now that doesn't. They just, when something goes wrong on the stream, people just jump on it and they get super toxic. Now they're not only toxic towards the streamer, they're toxic to everybody else who is nice in chat, or who is not doing anything wrong in chat. For example, I was in a Nepenthes stream. I'm a subscriber to Nepenthes, but that's all me getting sidetracked. But I linked the team in the chat because I wanted the chat, not even Nepenthes. I wanted the chat to just say, what could I improve on this team and how could I get it on full chemistry? Because I didn't have full chemistry. I still don't have full chemistry on this team, but that's because I'm using 2 left forwards. And the instant reply I got, and this was in DMs because it was in sub-only mode, was, "Your team sucks, fuck off." And that was within 1 second. So the guy didn't even look at my team, comments to me that I should fuck off, and I'm sorry for swearing on the stream, on the video, but you don't care. Yeah, that's just toxic. And it was not only the only reply I got, but it was the first one I got within a second. Then I just got DM'd over and over again with shitty team, bad team, you suck, you this, you that, you sus. And it's just, I'm like, what the F? What the F? I'm just chilling in a FIFA stream from a nice streamer who isn't toxic himself. Okay, he rages at the game a little bit when it doesn't go his way. He complains a little bit about the game when it doesn't go his way, but that's FIFA. Everybody does that. If you don't complain or rage at FIFA, you've never actually played FIFA. So yeah, I would just be like, okay, this community is just toxic. If you go on Reddit, the community is toxic. And when you beat someone in a game and they didn't agree with it, you get tons of messages sent to you with, "I want you to die, you are a dick, you are this, you are that." And the community is just toxic, and it just kills the game, it kills the vibe for a lot of people playing the game. That's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and want to be updated of more of my podcast slash discussions about FIFA 19, I'm gonna do them once or twice a week. Then do make sure you subscribe, like the video if you completely agree with the points I made, dislike it if you didn't, if you dislike the video. Do put in the comments down below what else you think needs to be fixed with FIFA 19. I'm not gonna get into gameplay because the gameplay is always gonna be major flaws with it. It's just the way FIFA works. I will do that maybe in a different podcast. But yeah, if you enjoyed, drop a like. Make sure to check out my Twitch for the future podcasts. And yeah, I will be making other FIFA content too, so do subscribe for that as well. And I will be out.